Hello, everyone, and welcome to GTV. I am GMAN, your host. And today, I'm going to do something that is healthy. I'm going to do something that is great for my soul. I'm going to do something that I should do every morning when I get up. And that's question evolution. Why is questioning evolution good? Well, for starters, I think it's good because people need to know that not everybody out there believes that evolution is science. Not all of us believe. Well, let me clarify what I mean by evolution. Number one, I'm not talking about microevolution. I'm not talking about variations within the kinds. I'm not talking about when we make copies of ourselves. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what is commonly known as macroevolution. I gotta wake up. Macroevolution, in which people suggest that we're related to bananas and we share a common ancestor with grass and things like that and whatnot, which I believe is ridiculous. And their mechanism is supposed to be mutation and natural selection. I believe it's mutations and natural selection. And so, every now and then I do like to get on this channel. And I did say I was going to do a lot of different things on this channel. I'm actually going to be doing scientific experiments. It kind of makes me think, why I didn't do that today? But I decided to go on a website today to get some questions to ask the evolutionists. And you can feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. However, I do want to let people know something I'm going to be doing in 2018. If you leave any comments, it has absolutely, positively nothing to do with this video. It has nothing to do with evolution. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. I will not respond to you, or I will simply put the option on here to review your comments. And when I see your trollish comment, I will not answer it. And whether you agree with me or not, I just want to see a comment that has something to do with the video. You can sit there and say, G-Man, evolution science, because this is the answer to your question, because. And that'll go a long way. Maybe somebody will see it and join your cause, although I highly doubt it. So let's take a quick peek at who's watching this before I get to these questions that I want to ask. Cause, although I highly doubt it. Okay, I meant to stop that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm on creation.com. And I notice they have 15 questions here for evolutionists. And I would like an answer for all of them. The only thing I would like for you to do is, normally I would, be okay with talking about God and all that stuff and whatnot. But on this particular YouTube channel, as I said before, I'm not holding anybody to having to answer that. I just want you to deal with the science. So question number one is, how did life originate? Evolutionist Professor Paul Davis admitted nobody knows how a mixture of lifeless chemicals spontaneously organize themselves into the first living cell. Andrew Knoll, a professor of biology at Harvard, said, we don't really know how life originated on this planet. A minimum cell needs several hundred proteins. Even if every atom in the universe were an experiment with all the correct amino acids present for every possible molecular vibration, molecular vibration in the supposed evolutionary age of the universe, not even one average size functional protein would form. So how did life with hundreds of proteins originate just by chemistry without intelligent design? I think that's an interesting question. If you don't want to answer the intelligent design question, I understand. But, I believe intelligent design is a science. You can answer that, but I particularly want an answer to this first question. How did life originate? And I know you guys believe it's abiogenesis. If you're going to leave a comment, please, no matter how long the comment is, if you want me to respond, make sure it's scientific. Number two, and if it's a long novel of a comment, please give me 1 to 2 days to respond to you, because I'm planning on responding to all the comments left on this YouTube channel today for this particular video. How did the DNA code originate? The code is a sophisticated language system with letters and words where the meaning of the words is unrelated to the chemical properties of the letters, just as the information on this page is not a product of chemical properties of the ink or the pixels on the screen. What other coding has existed without intelligent design? How did DNA coding systems arise without it being created? It's very interesting. So how did DNA originate? Number 3. Okay, so this next question deals with mutations. How could mutations accidental copy mistakes, DNA letters exchanged, deleted, or added, genes duplicated, chromosome inversions, create the huge volume of information in DNA of living things? How can such errors create billions of letters of DNA information to change a microbe into a microbiologist? That's an interesting question. And I hear the humor in there too. Obviously, it was a long process over a long period of time. But I'm more interested in where that new information comes from. There is information for how to make proteins, but also for controlling their use. Much like a cookbook contains the ingredients as well as the ingredients for how and when to use them. One without the other is useless. Okay, so that's the question I want to know, guys, as far as how is mutations randomly creating complexity? All right, and I know in order for you to answer that, you have to explain how new information is put into DNA simply by random chance. Okay. Some of these other questions, I think I'll deal with in another video when I can expand on it a little bit more. I guess my questions personally would be, I asked true empiricism a question. No. It wasn't true empiricism. It was NEPHILIMFREE. I asked this question on, and it's an important question to me, just like the fossil record is. And it has to do with the universe, all this empty space that we have. Where did this empty space come from? Now, when I went to the Museum of Natural History, I do know about the claims about cosmic radiation, about dark matter, and things like that. My question for the evolutionists, and by the way, I'm not saying that cosmic radiation doesn't exist, and I'm not saying that dark matter don't exist. This is my question. This is independent of creation.com. I want to say this again. This is my question. And this is independent of creation.com. I'm going to say this again. This is my question, and this is independent of creation.com. My question for the evolutionists is this. Where, and if you want to use cosmic radiation, if you want to use dark matter, that's fine, okay? Where did all this empty space come from? And while you're answering that, and you're saying that that's not evolution, I'm talking about chemical and stellar and planetary evolution. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's talking about the bang and the expansion of the universe. I'm not stupid. I know that's what that's talking about. Why have the planets be round and not triangle or square or anything like that? I think it's a fair question. If these things are not designed and these things was randomly done, why is everybody that we see in the universe seem to be round and not be square, rectangle, triangle, or something like that? That's what I would like to know. Let's see if somebody's trying to answer the questions right now in the live chat. Then I might go back to creation.com. We'll see. Okay. I got some brothers here watching. How you guys doing? Since I got you watching, Zulu, I want to apologize about yesterday. For some reason, I don't know, man. I forgot my Skype password, and I couldn't get into it on time to come into your show, man. I apologize about that. When I talk to you on Skype later today, I'll give you my phone number, and in the future, you can give me the link that way. How you doing, True Empiricism? So these are some of my questions. I've been told by multiple scientists here, not by multiple scientists, by one scientist that I'm not worth his time. I've been told by Aaron Robb that unless the community selects me as a representative, he won't come on here and teach me. I've been told by multiple evolutionists that I'm too dumb to understand this process. However, I have been told by one scientist that I am smart. I met her in person in New York, and she told me I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? And she told me I can understand these things. You know what I mean? And that person happens to be Fiona. Huge shout out to Fiona. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, a lot of these other people in our community here, they keep telling me I'm dumb and I can't possibly understand evolution. I mean, this 8th grade science is just too difficult for me to understand, you know? What am I to do? So anyway, for those of you who do want to help me and do want to help me understand some of this stuff, I'm going to go back to creation.com. I think I asked some of the questions that I want to ask already. I think I'll go back when I think of a couple more. Let's go to number 4, and this has to do with natural selection. Number 4, why is natural selection a principle recognized by creationists, taught as evolution, as if it explains the origin of the diversity of life? By definition, it is a selective process, selecting from already existing information. So it is not a creative process. It might explain the survival of the fittest, why certain genes benefit creatures more in certain environments, but not the arrival of the fittest, where the genes and creatures came from in the first place. The death of individuals not adapted to an environment and the survival of those that are suited does not explain the origin and of the traits that make an organism adapted to an environment. How do a minor back and forth and variations in finch beaks explain the origin of the finches? How does natural that's a good question. How does natural selection go to you evolution? Well, that's interesting because what was his name? Ray Comfort did a video where he asked PZ Myers about, wait a minute, was it PZ Myers? He asked one of those guys in that video. It might have been PZ Myers, it might have been another professor or whatever, but he asked him about an example in evolution. He was talking about how they had different finches and changes in their beaks, which no Christian or no creationist or no person that's part of intelligent design is going to argue against a bird having a bigger beak or a smaller beak or a medium beak because of its environment. We don't argue against that. What we say is how do you get different birds from evolution? That's what we want to know from macroevolution. You know what I mean? So let me read this again to make sure I got that right. If I got that one wrong, I'm pretty. Wait a minute, hold on a minute. Oh, okay. It talks about the origin of the beaks, but it doesn't tell you about where the bird itself come from. Yeah, and evolution does a bad job of that because you have to have a belief in it. It doesn't give you scientific facts on how that happens. How did new biochemical pathways, which involve multiple enzymes working together in sequence, originate? This video simply explains the concept of a short biochemical pathway. Every pathway and nanomachine requires multiple protein or enzyme components to work. How did lucky accidents create even? I like this. How did lucky accidents create even one of the components, let alone 10 or 20 or 30 at the same time? Often in a necessary program sequence. Evolutionary biochemist Franklin Harold wrote, "We must concede that there are presently no detailed Darwinian accounts of the evolution or biochemical or cellular system, only a variety of wishful speculations or beliefs now specifically made for adults." So, I mean, I'm hoping during evolutionists bring it, somebody's going to come and answer some of these questions because I'm certainly going to present these during my version of Bring It Evolutionists. Of course, you can't compete with True Empiricism show, but I mean, those guys know so much more than me. But I'm just hoping that somebody will take time out of their so busy schedule to actually talk to me about these topics. Or, intelligent design is going to keep looking like science, and evolution is going to look like a bedtime story for adults. Number 6, living things look like they were designed. So how do evolutionists know what they were not? I'm sorry. How do evolutionists know for a certainty? I added that little phrase for a certainty, that they were not designed. You know, and that's a very good question. If you believe that you're related or that you share a common ancestor with a baboon or a chimpanzee, or you believe that you share a common ancestor with grass and peanuts and walnuts, or you believe that you share a common ancestor with other living things on this planet that are not human, how do you know that you wasn't designed? Like, how do you know? That would involve information. That would involve intelligence. You believe that you were unintelligently made, and you don't believe intelligence had anything to do with you being here. And that's what I hear a lot of them say, and I think it's hilarious. I guess it doesn't take much intelligence to have sex. Anyway, Richard Dawkins wrote, "Biology is the study of complicated things that have the appearance of having been designed with a purpose." Francis Crick, the co-discoverer of the double helix structure of DNA, wrote, "Biologists must constantly keep in mind that what they see was not designed, but rather evolved. The problem for evolutionists is that living things show too much design. Who objects when an archaeologist says that pottery points to human design?" Well, I know a whole bunch of people. I can't mention who they are because actually, yes, I can. They happen to be pseudoscientists on here who think they know what they're talking about, who promote evolution without actually knowing what it is. And that's who they are. I just want to answer that question for you guys on that particular question about the pottery on creation.com here. Attributes the design in living things to a designer, that is not acceptable. Like, how does that work, guys? Why should science be restricted to naturalistic causes rather than logical causes? I know somebody's sitting there saying GMAN is reading something. Yes, I am. I said in the beginning of this video that I'm on creation.com and I have 15 questions that I want to ask you guys. Okay? And I would like answers in the comment section. You leave any other questions, answers besides actual answers in my comment section when this is over, you won't be able to find your comment. But I am willing to talk to anybody who can talk scientific with me about this. All right? Me, true empiricism, NEPHILIMFREE, or anybody who wants to talk about this in the comment section. All right. Number 7, how did multicellular life originate? How did cells adapted to individual survival learn to cooperate and specialize, including undergoing programmed cell death to create complex plants and animals? I would like an answer for that one too, personally. That's a good question. How did sex originate? Oh, this is a good question right here. How did sex originate from a single cell? Let's say it became a single cell to a multi-cell. Eventually, it had to become something that was able to have sex. Like, how did that work? I mean, like, because you have to have sperm and you have to have an egg. And how did the evolutionary process work with that? Anyway, the site actually says, how did sex originate? Asexual reproduction gives up to twice as much reproductive success, fitness, for the same resources as sexual reproduction. So how could the latter even gain enough advantage to be selected? And how could mere physics and chemistry invent, and the key word there is invent the complementary apparatuses needed at the same time? Non-intelligent processes cannot plan for the future coordination of male and female organs. I think that's common sense there, personally. But I'm pretty sure everybody in the world is calling this site stupid for him saying that. 9th question. Why are the expected countless millions of transitional fossils missing? Oh, this is one of my favorites. Darwin noted the problem, and it still remains. The evolutionary family trees in textbooks are based on imagination. Imagination, not fossil evidence. Famous Harvard paleontologist and evolutionist Stephen Jay Gould wrote, the extreme rarity of transitional forms in the fossil record persist as a trade secret of paleontology. Other evolutionists, fossil experts, also acknowledged the problem. Where's those transitional fossils, guys? I've been asking this for a long time. I destroyed the guy I debated on this YouTube channel on that very topic. Where are the transitional fossils? You guys keep claiming there are millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of transitional forms. Where are they? I understand your claim is that they're in the bottom of a museum, never to be seen by the general public. So this is what you got to do for me. Even if you're allowed to use pictures, can you please show me something? Will you show me step by step? Because you claim you got millions of these. That you got step by step by step by step by step by step by step until you get to a human being. I would like to see this, please. Now, of course, that's billions of years, and I know you and I don't got that kind of time, but you know what I mean. Let's see how your evolution is true. If I'm worth your time, if I'm not worth your time, then I do want to let everybody know that the evolutionists have given up. They have tapped out. Intelligent design makes more sense than this land of make-believe nonsense known as biological evolution. Moving on to number 10. How do living fossils remain unchanged over supposed hundreds of millions of years? If evolution has changed worms into humans in the same time frame, Professor Gould wrote, the maintenance of stability within species must be considered a major evolutionary problem. You know what the funny thing is? Right now, there are people with no scientific degrees whatsoever telling Mr. Gould that he's an idiot. I promise you that's what's going on. There are people with no biological degrees whatsoever calling him an idiot for saying those things. It goes against their religion. So anyway, number 11. How did blind chemistry create mind, intelligence, meaning, altruism, and morality? If everything evolved and we invented God as per evolutionary teaching, what purpose or meaning is there to life? Should students be learning nihilism? Life is meaningless in science class? Oh God, this is very good for your health, man. I'm going to call this alternative school. I'm going to call this alternative school. You want to know why I'm going to call this alternative school? Because at least creation.com is asking the tough questions that students in school won't ask. Okay. Number 12. Why is evolutionary just so storytelling tolerated? Evolutionists often use flexible storytelling to explain observations contrary to evolutionary theory. NAS or USA. All right. Okay. A member, Dr. Philip Skell, wrote, Darwinian explanations for such things are often too supple. Natural selection makes humans self-centered and aggressive, except when it makes them okay, I can't even pronounce this. Okay. Altruistic and peaceable. On natural selection processes, virile men who eagerly spread their seed. Okay. Except when it prefers men who are faithful protectors and providers. When an explanation so supple that it can explain any behavior, it is difficult to test experimentally, much less use it as a catalyst for scientific discovery. I understand why evolution will make somebody self-centered. I don't know about this question. I don't know about this one. I have to look up that one a little bit later. I'll give evolution 1 point today on this one. I don't know about this one. Maybe somebody who's a creationist can explain number 12 to me a little bit later, because I don't get that one. Okay. Number 13. Where are the scientific breakthroughs due to evolution? Okay. Where are the scientific breakthroughs due to evolution? Man, that's another one that's interesting. Dr. Mark Kishner, chair of the Department of Systems and Biology at Harvard Medical School, stated, in fact, over the last 100 years, almost all of biology has proceeded independent of evolution, except evolutionary biology itself. Molecular biology, biochemistry, physiology has not taken evolution into account at all. Dr. Skew wrote, it is essential to doctors, veterinarians, farmers. Evolution actually hinders medical discovery. then why do schools and universities teach evolution so dogmatically, stealing time from experimental biology so that benefits humankind? Hey guys, let me read this to myself again for a moment, guys. I need to think about something. You're going to see me do something here in real time because I want to make sure I understand this correctly. Okay, and by the way, for those of you who want to know why I need to read this to myself, is because we know that if you have a roach, right, in your house or whatever, right, and you spray it with roach spray, and it dies from the roach spray, and another roach comes and eat it. Like I said, the immune system of the next roach is going to be a little bit stronger and make it resistant to the roach spray. I never denied that. I understand that. So, in that sense, I understand that. But I'm trying to see if they're speaking against that, unless they're speaking about a different form of evolution here. Anyway, you guys are watching this. This is another one I'm going to have to look at here for a minute. Again, I'm going to look at the live chat and see what people think about this one. As a matter of fact, let me check the live chat now and see what you guys think about that one. That one's interesting. I thought that it was all going to be funny games. Let me see something here. Okay, let's move on to the next question. I'm gonna need to look at that one a little bit more. So now that's 2 for my homework today. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking one thing and just saying another. Anyway, guys, there's at least 2 questions on here I'm gonna have to come back to a little bit later. Science involves experimenting to figure out how things work, how they operate. Why is evolution a theory about history taught as if it is the same as operational science? You cannot do experiments or even observe what happened in the past. Asked if evolution has ever observed. Richard Dawkins said evolution has been observed. It's just it hasn't been observed while it's happening. Okay, that's a word. That's a word game here. Okay, here we go. Last but not least, why is a fundamentally religious idea a dogmatic belief system that fails to explain the evidence taught in science classes? Karl Popper, famous philosopher of science, said Darwinianism is not a tolerable scientific theory, but a metaphysical religious research program. Michael Ruse, evolutionist scientist philosopher, admitted evolution is a religion. This was true of evolution in the beginning, and it is true of evolution today. If you can't teach religion in science classes, why is evolution taught? Well, I'm actually in full agreement with number 15. I believe that evolution is more of a religion than anything else. However, I don't think that negates what was said here. And I think in question, what was it? Question 9, I think it was. I know question, what was that, 13? About scientific breakthroughs. Are you talking about macroevolution or are they talking about microevolution? I gotta assume they're talking about macro, but like I said, I think immunity would count, but I already believe in macro. I mean, you can literally see that all the time. There are scientific experiments to prove that. So what are they talking about here? Let me reread this question again on number 13, guys. Okay, this is one of the ones I'm having an issue with right now. Okay, I might be publicly disagreeing with creation.com here. I don't know. Okay, number 13. Where are the scientific breakthroughs due to evolution? Dr. Mark Kirshner, chair of the Department of Systems and Biology, Harvard Medical School, stated, in fact, over the last 100 years, almost all of biology have proceeded independent of evolution. independent of evolution. How? Except evolutionary biology itself. Molecular biology, biochemistry, physiology has not taken evolution into account at all. Dr. School wrote, it is our knowledge of how these organisms actually operate, not speculations about how they have arisen millions of years ago. That is essential to doctors, veterinarians, farmers. Evolution actually hinders medical discovery. Evolution actually hinders medical discovery. Evolution actually hinders medical discovery. Then why do schools and universities teach evolution so dogmatically, stealing time from experiment? I don't know if I disagree. I'm sorry. I don't know if I agree with number 13 here. I really don't. Evolution hinders evolution. Okay. If we're talking about microevolution, I don't think that's true. I think that's false. Again, use the example of a roach. Now, let me play devil's advocate here because I don't have an evolutionist in the room here. So let me play devil's advocate to prove to people here that I do think objectively about these things. If you have a roach and you take bug spray and you kill the roach, and I said this earlier, and a roach dies and another roach comes eat the roach, its immunity is actually going to be stronger and it's going to be harder to kill the roach with that same roach spray. I think most people would agree with that. If a person receives a vaccine, the idea is that you take a little bit of the virus along with some other chemicals, but you take a little bit of the virus in your body, not enough to kill you supposedly, but it causes your body to form an immunity against whatever it is that you want a person not to contract in their body, that their body will be able to ward it off and fight it off. But in order for that to happen, your body would have to build an immunity for it. So I'm not understanding. See, I don't know about this one. I'm gonna talk to a couple of friends I got about this. I wonder if let's see who's online. This is a really good question here. I think let me see who. For those of you who don't know, the site I'm looking at is okay, this is creation.com. If you want to know how to find it, it's creation.com/15 questions for evolutionists. And if you want to know the question that I'm looking at right now, it's number 13. See, where are these guys when I need them? Let me see who's watching this show right now. Let's see something here. Where's my live chat at? I would give you the link, Neslick20, but my experience has taught me when I put the link in the live chat that I'm probably gonna get sniped. So, if you can answer it. I'm reading the live chat here, and I'm seeing if somebody answered the question regarding number 13 on my evolutionist question. So just give me a second here, guys, a minute. Let me see. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a bring it evolutionist probably tonight or tomorrow or something like that, and then it'll be more conversational more than anything else. The only way I'll argue if somebody comes in here and tries to argue that it is definitively true and thinks I'm just gonna sit there and be quiet. I'm gonna put this question in the live chat. Tell me what you guys think about this. Both Christians and both creationists and I just woke up. Both creationists and evolutionists. I'm gonna be fair with this one. Let me put this here. I'm being fair with all of them, but let me oh, I can't put this here. It's too big. I can't put this here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys a link. I was gonna put the entire question here, but they're telling me it's too many characters. So what I'm gonna do a second here, guys, and I'm still trying to delete this. What the heck is this? All right. Let me give you guys a link to the website. Again, it's question number 13 that I'm questioning right now. And I'm going to give you guys a link here in the live chat here. SHAMANWATCH is saying, GTV, I guess you're not open to an actual scientific tuition. Are you too chicken to learn? SHAMANWATCH, if you want to send me to a university like Rutgers or something like that, where I can be taught by somebody you don't know, that'd be great. But I'm not going to sit there and be taught by you. It ain't going to happen. All right? Not found. Click it again. That's the link that was provided for this site. Let me give it to you again. Okay, guys, I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. So if somebody can answer that question, that'd be great. Work. Okay, this is the link, right? Okay, is there another way I can get? Okay, just go to creation.com. And again, it's 15 questions for evolutionists. Go to creation.com and it's 15 questions for, is it creationists or evolutionists? No, it's 15 questions for evolutionists. It's in creation.com and it's 15 questions for evolutionists. All right. I would screen share it, but again, people can get the link to my Hangout by me simply screen sharing. If Doc Savage, again, and this is my condition for it, if Doc Savage wants to send me to Rutgers, or if he wants to send me to Rutgers, or if he wants to send me to, hold on a minute. If he wants to send me to Rutgers, or if he wants to send me to Seton Hall, that'd be great for one class. It's local, it's in my area, or New Jersey City University. You can send me there if you want. Or Hudson County Community College, which I've been there before. So if you want to, or Fairleigh Dickinson University, you want to send me there, that'd be great. Because, sir, I don't know you from a can of paint. So I'm just saying. All right. So let me see. And not to mention, Mr. Savage, with all due respect, I'm not a big fan of the company that you keep. So I'm just saying. So let me see. Nestle 20, I'm not accusing you of being a coward. I'm not accusing no evolutionists of being a coward. I would love to have you in here. However, sniping has changed the game here on the internet. I'm going to have to find a way to get you guys in here without worrying about being sniped. Okay, let's see something here. Average Joe 11. You are in punishment right now. How you doing, Steve? So anyway, guys, that's going to be it. Those are my questions. Actually, do I have any questions for myself now? Again, if you guys want to know what it was, it's number 13 on creation.com. I think on my main channel, I might bring that over there for a question, but it won't be till Friday or something like that. I just uploaded a rap on there, and I want that video to be there for a while because I know it's going to make some noise, as well as some other stuff that I've done. So I'm going to wait for that stuff to blow over before I put that on there. So I guess my question is, and will continue to be, because for me personally, I just got that one question, and that's about the transitional fossils. You know what I mean? I'm constantly being told that there are millions and millions and millions and millions of transitional forms. I've been to the Museum of Natural History, and I'm sorry, these are not these millions of transitional forms everybody keeps talking about. Okay. Do I believe that they're under the museum? They probably are. They probably are. I'm aware of the fossils that I'm looking at in these museums. Not all of them, but some of them are plaster or Paris or like some fake version of it or whatever. And I understand it. It's all good. But you want to convince me that evolution is true, you're going to have to produce those transitional forms all the way from your single cell to today. All right. So if you can't do that, then you're asking me to have faith and a belief in it. And I'm telling you straight up, that ain't going to happen. I already have faith and belief in something else already. Thank you very much. So with that being said, guys, learn to think for yourself. GTV.